I'm finally catching up on 90 Day Fiancé The Other Way season 4. And honestly, even at the end of just episode 1, I am not rooting for any of these couples. There is a part of me that understands why some of this is happening, but on the outside, none of it makes sense. I am open to being surprised. I am open to falling in love with these couples in episodes to come. But at this point, I have very little faith that any of these decisions make sense. Let's talk about who we meet this episode and what's going on with them. The first couple we meet this episode includes Chris. Chris is 40. She lives in Alabama. She describes it as the Bible Belt of America. And in Chris's experience, the Bible Belt was not a very welcoming place to her. At some point in Chris's life, she knew that she was gay, and she knew she couldn't really be gay where she was from. So she used to travel out of town and go to lesbian bars and gay bars, but she could never be herself at home. At this point, she, was in relationships with men. She's got 2 grown kids. But she's finally ready to be herself, and I'm here for that. I love that for you, Chris. Yes, be yourself. What else can you be, as they say? Just be yourself. Well, interestingly, Chris went online, fell in love with a woman, Jamie, who seems to have had a similar experience. Jamie did not realize that she was gay until later in life, and realized that Venezuela, where she's from, was not a safe place for her to be gay. So she up and moved to Colombia, which was where she says is a little safer and a better place for her. So she lives in Colombia. Chris and Jamie at this point in the show have not yet met in person, but that doesn't stop the plans from moving forward. They have a wedding. They have a wedding planned, and it's happening 9 days after Chris's plane lands in Colombia. Now, I love that the 2 of them are finally at points in their lives where they can be themselves, they can be proud of who they are, and they can find love out of someone that they care for. But do they care for each other? I can't really tell yet. Because even though Chris and Jamie have not yet met in person, they've already had their issues. So some months ago, at some point, Jamie sent a message or called Chris and said, "Oh, girl, I got COVID. I can't work anymore and I need money." So Chris started sending her money. And then, but that's fine. Yeah, the love of your life is falling on hard times. Yeah, send the money, help them out. But then some strange woman from Texas that Chris doesn't know sends Chris a message to say, so Jamie just asked me to be her girlfriend. And so I looked her up on the internet and I saw that she says that you're her girlfriend. And so I just want you to know that I think Jamie is scamming you. I think she's using you for money. I don't think she has COVID. I think she's working this whole time. And I think she's trying to start a relationship with me. That doesn't sound good. Chris and Jamie say that they've worked through that. They say that that's in the past. But I'm a little skeptical, and I do believe that that's going to cause an issue that will come up later in the show, but we'll see. The next couple we meet in this episode, this couple makes me feel the worst. There's no way that this is going to turn out good, but that's fine at this point in the episode. We'll go with it. So this couple is Danielle and Johann. Danielle is 42. She lives in New York City. She's a high school history teacher and has a side hustle running a wellness and yoga business. Danielle says she's lived in New York for, I think, 15 years, and she's tired of city life. It's a mess there. It's expensive. She can't live like the queen that she knows that she is. And she's willing to give it all up for life in the Dominican Republic with her new husband, Johann. Johann is 32, I think. He's a personal trainer, fitness instructor. I don't know. Let's just say he's very healthy. And he's into having good fitness. And Johann tells us that it is the dream of every person in the Dominican Republic to move to the United States. And Johann thinks he is one step closer to fulfilling this dream of his. But surprise, surprise, Johann, you ain't moving to the United States because your new wife has made it her own decision. She's made the call on her own that she's not moving back to the United States. She's staying in the DR. She's living on the beach. She's eating her mangoes, drinking her pina coladas, whatever else. She's going to live like a queen. The fact that she promised Johann that she would fill out this paperwork is irrelevant because she changed her mind. Y'all are living there. You're staying in the DR. And eventually she'll tell him that. Not yet, but eventually. Next up is Jen. She's 46 from Oklahoma, and she has an amazing sense of self awareness. She admits to us that she's a nomad with a habit of picking the wrong guy. She's attracted to handsome, charismatic men who turn out not to treat her right. But that's fine because this is different. Rishi is definitely the one. So within just a month of meeting each other, I think they met in India, he proposed to her, and Jen says she did not hesitate to say yes. Of course, there have been some issues since this relationship started. Jen says that Rishi didn't technically ghost her, but he was very hard to get a hold of. He did kind of disappear from their modes of communication. And that sounds a lot like ghosting to me, but Jen says it wasn't. So, okay. Jen is planning to fly to India soon, and I'm sure things will improve once they're face to face, right? The last couple that we meet in this episode is Gabriel and Isabelle. Gabriel is 32. He's from Florida. He traveled to Colombia for work, and there he met the love of his life, Isabelle. Now, Gabriel had a secret that he kept from Isabelle for a little bit, but eventually he told her, Isabelle, Gabriel is transgendered. And Isabelle said that was fine with her, but her family doesn't know. And so now Gabriel wants to move down there, get married to Isabelle, be stepdaddy to her kids, and he's a little nervous that her family is not going to accept him and his full story. At the end of the episode, Danielle lands at the airport in the Dominican Republic, and Johann is there to pick her up. She does finally try to start to tell him it actually is going to be better if we just stay in the Dominican Republic, and Johann's not feeling that. And I don't blame him because that was not the agreement they had. But Danielle tries to make him feel bad. Johann, you don't even speak English, man. Johann, you're not going to get a good job there. Johann, you don't even know how expensive it is. If that's the relationship, like the conversation that one spouse is having with the other spouse, it includes degrading the person, trying to make them feel worse about themselves, to make them feel like things are not actually possible. I have a hard time believing that that relationship is going to work. As for the rest of these couples, I am hopeful that something good can come out of these relationships. I am skeptical, but I'm hopeful. Okay, I'll stay open to it. But really watching them just reminds me that all of us, I believe, all of us get to a certain point where we have to reflect on our own lives and say, am I winning by doing the things that everyone else tells me I should be doing? Am I further along in life because I always listen to what the people around me say? And so with these people, every person around them is saying, hey, hold up. I think you're making a really bad choice. And yeah, that's good. You want friends and family who look out for you. But I just think also that these people on this show, in these couples, in these relationships, are just ready to try something on their own. Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy. It's probably not going to work. But part of me thinks that they feel like, what do they have to lose? And so, yeah, they're going to be on a wild ride. I am looking forward to watching this wild ride from a distance and talking about it with you. Do any of these couples seem like they have a chance to you? Let me know what you think. You already know I'm skeptical. I don't think any of this is going to work. As of episode 1, I think this is 0 for 4. 0 couples out of these 4 is going to last. But hey, what do I know? Let me know what you think, and we will continue the conversation either in the comments or in my next video. In the meantime, take care. We will talk soon. Bye.